The views that are expressed on What's on Edigga's Mind are that of the show's host and does not necessarily reflect the views of BS3 TV Network. Viewer discretion is advised. What is good? What is good? What is good? And of course, I'm never ready with my horns. So I probably got to do this again. I'm never ready. I am never ready. That's right. What is good, good people? It is I, the man that you all know and love. Yes. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I am live, of course, in the newly named Lion's Den Media Studios. That's right. I am live. And I took a little break last week. I apologize. I am back and got some good news. WLEO has just been, well, it hasn't been picked up. I registered I registered the station through an app called Get Me Radio. And because of that, you can now go to Alexa and say, Alexa, play Get Me Radio. And after it says, thank you for, and all of that, blah, blah, blah. And it asks you what station would you like to listen to, and you can put it in WLEO 26.7 online radio. Yes, you got to say the whole thing, or WLEO radio, and it will come up. It will pop up and it will play WLEO radio. So I am ecstatic about that. Thank you. And not only that, good people, you can listen to it on Roku. You can listen to it on Fire TV, Apple TV, Google TV. It is amazing. I was just watching it and looking at it and playing around with it. So anybody who has an online radio station, do that. Register it at getmeradio.com. And you can have your station featured on Alexa. If you have Alexa device like the Echo and all of those sorts of things that Google have come out with, you can have your station placed on. I'm all blinked out today. You can have your station placed on Alexa. First and foremost, I want to say thank you. Thank you. If I have not already said thank you for tuning in, I want to say thank you for tuning in. Right now, we are live on WLEO 26.7 online radio. For those people who are tuned in, I appreciate you. Right now, you are watching me on Facebook, YouTube, at Charm City Direct TV, WLEO Radio on Facebook, BS3 TV on YouTube, BS3 TV on Facebook, everywhere. So I appreciate you wherever you are listening and watching. And you could go to WLEO267radio.com, and check out this live broadcast right now. It should be live. I'm not going to look at my phone because I just know it's live. Today, good people, we got some stuff to talk about. And the reason why I named this From Good to Bad is because that's how it went this weekend. It went from good to bad. And starting off, my Saturday was incredible because I had the privilege, because it was an invite from a good friend of mine, DJ Root Rice, Baltimore's own DJ Root Rice. I went to a video shoot of his daughter, Trilllbino, the official video shoot for her song Hold Up, Wait a Minute. And it was shot in the historic, I want to say historic because Old Town Mall been in Baltimore forever. It was shot down there, of course, by another good friend of mine, awesome guy, Hello Rello. I know him by Hello Rello because he's an artist. I'm not going to say his government name, but I know him as Hello Rello. And his boutique, AO Boutique, if you're ever in the Old Town Mall area, please stop down there. He has everything from clothing, shoes. This guy got rims in the back of the shop. Like, he has some rims in the back of the shop. It was, man, first time down there, had a absolute ball. I had so much fun shooting this video. I was in the video. And besides that, you had some heavy hitters that came out. I know Lean Baltimore came out. My man, Antoine Grant. He is the host of Access Granted, the Pod Stream. You had some heavy hitters out there. You had Beats Not Bullets, some representatives from Beats Not Bullets. You had my girl who I just met, Tay Bands. She was out there. And it was every time when we come together, it's love. It is nothing but love. So I'm gonna play this little short interview that I did with Trilllbino, and we'll be right back.
What's good, everybody? It is I, the man that you all know and love, Edigga. That's right, Trump City Direct TV and WLEO 26.7 online radio. I know it's long, but hey, you get it. Hey, this beautiful young lady, what can I say? Baltimore's own Trilllbino. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
It's hot out here.
It's real hot. I don't know why I wouldn't say it. But
the cost of the swag.
Right.
The talent, the art.
How long have you been doing music?
I've been doing music my whole life. I grew up around music. My father, who's my producer, has always been my producer. I've always branched off, but that was my first producer. I was singing and recording music as punishment, so that's what that is. But I've been making music my whole life. But I started singing before I started rapping. I've been rapping since late last year, and I just stuck with it. I want to learn some more about it. Right.
The crazy part is, I was with you. I was following your journey when you were singing. Didn't know you was rapping, but hell of a singer.
Yes.
I do like that.
Thank you.
This video shoot right now, we in. Talk about the song.
Okay, so Hold Up, Wait a Minute, even though that wasn't the confirmed title, but it might as well be. Hold Up, Wait a Minute is kind of just it's claiming your power, because honestly, a lot of my songs, not even just this one, they have deeper meanings to them. You can interpret it however you want to, but my intention is just to instill power within yourself. I'm so limitless, so you can't tell me what to do. I'm not saying I'm a tyrant, but if you want to take it how you want to take it, you can do whatever, because Hold Up, Wait a Minute is about how you live your life. You have to live it the way you have to live it, because life is a spectrum, but not really. Life is free, but there are laws, but you can understand them. There are laws, but you can still be yourself. You don't have to conform. Earth is home, and what we built on this earth is either or. Either you choose to be responsible for yourself, or actually be a tyrant and just lose it. So Hold Up, Wait a Minute is just instilling all of that in you. You can do whatever you want to do. If you want to change the world, don't be oh, I just can't change the world. I can't even try. It's too hard. You got to try. That's something you want to do. The journey is better than the destination.
That's what's up. Tell people out there how they can hear your music, where they can find you on social media, all that good stuff.
I got you. On Instagram is TRILL3Ls.BINO. And you can also find me on SoundCloud, trying to get all my stuff on, Apple Music, all of that. But on SoundCloud, you can reach me the same way, just without the dot. So it's just Trilllbino, 3Ls, BINO.
That's what's up. Hey, Charm City Direct TV, WLEO Radio. We here with Trilllbino. What can I say? I'm honored to be in the video. You see what I'm saying? Hey, make sure you check her out.
Yes, check me out.
All music. Hey, I gotta go.
And 3, 2, 1.
And welcome back to the show. You just saw a little brief interview that I did with Trilllbino, and that was a little behind the scenes of the video shoot for Hold Up. I want to say Hold Up, wait a minute. Catchy chorus. Hold up, wait a minute. I ain't done and I ain't finished. Had a great time. Had a great time. Like I said, it was all love, and a lot of, like I said, Baltimore certainly came out. Shout out to my man Rude Rice in the behind the scenes, the tall gentleman that was Antoine Grant, and the young lady beside Trilllbino was Lean Baltimore. And all of these people, like I said, Baltimore celebrities, they're my celebrities. And I look up to these guys. I look up to Lean Baltimore. I look up to Antoine Grant. Because I could reach out to him, I could call him, I could talk to him, and just to be in that circle of Baltimore's who's who is an honor. Like I said, when I got the invite from Rude Rice, he said, "Hey man, come on down and be a part of this," and a lot of people was coming in, a lot of people was coming down and wanted to be a part of it. So shout out to Ruth Rice. Shout out to Trilllbino. I can't wait for the video to drop, and certainly you will hear that song on WLEO Radio real soon. Shout out to my man Antoine Grant, SX Granted. Shout out to Beats Not Bullets, Tape Bands. A lot of who's who was there. A lot of who's who in Baltimore was there. Great opportunity for networking. Like I said, of course I made my rounds because some of these people I knew, some of these people I didn't know. And if you live in Baltimore, you know that Baltimore is small. Everybody knows somebody. You see what I'm saying? And sometimes that's the case, but sometimes it's not the case. So yesterday was definitely a moment to network, see some people that you know and some people that you don't know, and reach out to them and offer your support to them. How can I help you? I noticed that there was a young man there. His name was Calvin. He's an up and coming producer. There was some other guys that was there, who was videographers, and you never know. Like, networking to me is very, very needed. And a lot of times when people say that they don't network or they don't get out, then you only shooting yourself in the foot, because like myself, when I got into this arena, I was one of those people. I was, I thought that I can do all of this by myself, but I couldn't. I just couldn't because I needed people to interview, and especially I didn't know anyone. And when people come into your circle or want to be a part of you, the antennas go up, but then you have to step back a little bit and say, let me feel this person out and see what they all about. So shout out to everybody who came out. Shout out to my man Hello Rello. I just need to say this right quick. This man is definitely on his grind. He is definitely on his grind. Like I said, Old Town Mall in Baltimore was one of the most prestigious malls in Baltimore. Now we have a lot of malls in Baltimore. We have Mondawmin, Security, if Security is still there, I don't know. Mondawmin, Security, White Marsh. We did have a Glen Burnie Mall. I'm not sure if Glen Burnie Mall is still there. White Marsh Mall. I said White Marsh, Mondawmin, Towson Town Center, Arundel Mills. Arundel Mills is huge. There's a lot of malls here in Baltimore. But the Old Town Mall is one of the most quintessential aspects to Baltimore. Like Old Town Mall to me, like going to Old Town Mall, like man, and I can count on my hand how many times I've been to Old Town Mall. And what Hello Rello or Darrell, as his government, he wanted to revitalize the Old Town Mall. And what he did was he said, "Hey, these buildings or these shops are still standing. I want to revitalize. I want to be one of the people who revitalize Old Town Mall." So there's still some stores down there. If you ever go down there, if you live in Baltimore, if you ever go down there are still some stores down there. There's still some boutiques that's down there. There's a pawn shop that's down there. So there is progress. What I want to know, and I kind of got my answer yesterday from Ruth Rice and Antoine, but I just want to know, like, what they did with Morgan State University. They Morgan State had a shopping center, and I remember this conversation a long time ago. Shout out to his name is going to escape me. Um, I cannot call his name right now. It's on the tip of my tongue. And I'm looking at him right now. He reached out to me and he was on live and he was at a meeting and he said, "Hey, E, look, I'm at this meeting to revitalize the Northwood Shopping Center. And what do you think needs to go over there?" So I said, "Oh, at the time, we desperately need a barbershop. Like, guys, if to find a barbershop close to you without having to go all the way across town is love. Like for me, now my barber is right around the corner on Harford Road. So then I was that one. I was that one making that trip across town trying to get my hair cut. But if your barber is like really close to you, hold on to him. So the conversation with I cannot remember his name to save my life. And it's going to happen. I'm gonna say his name when we go to a break. Um he reached out to me. I was on live. He was like, "Hey, what's up, E? What do you think need in the Northwood Shopping Center?" And I said, "A barbershop. Definitely a barbershop." Because at that time, oh, they had a Rite Aid over there. That little poor Rite Aid was just standing on one leg. It was looking pitiful over there. And Morgan State University took on that whole complex, that whole development, and we just went over there today, my wife and I, and it is beautiful. They got an IHOP over there, and they have a Georgia Peach, and that's a all black restaurant, a black owned restaurant. Food is amazing. And they have an IHOP over there. Oh my God, let me tell you. we went there today and had breakfast. It is amazing on the inside. The beautiful thing about it is everybody that work there are students at Morgan State University. Everybody that work on, and if I'm saying this correctly, everybody that work at Northwood Shopping Center, they're either students or graduates of Morgan State University, which is the dopest thing that I ever heard. We came into this IHOP because there's an IHOP that's not too far from us that is it puts the HOR in horrible. I'm gonna just leave it at that. You came in, one is big, it is really spacious. You can't hear what's going on in the back of the kitchen. Everybody is like, I'm not going to say it's quiet. You heard some, pots and pans right in the back, but you did not hear all the fussing, the fighting, all of that in the back. You didn't hear all of that. And one, it was spacious. The people, the servers, I need to say this, the service was superb. I need to say that. The service was superb. Like our waitress, she came over, anything else you need? Is there anything else I could get for you? If you need it, I got you, blah, blah, blah. Spot on. I just need to say that. So I just want to say one thing. If you're ever in Baltimore, if you're ever on the east side of Baltimore, because like I said, Morgan State University took on that whole development of Northwood Shopping Center, and it is amazing. It is amazing. So treat yourself to some good food, great atmosphere. If you're ever in Baltimore, make sure you go to the Northwood Shopping Center, go to IHOP, Georgia Peach, wherever. Just walk around because to me, it is dope. Now, here comes the bad part. That was how great my weekend was. But you know the old cliche. For every good thing, it got to come some bad. So I'm going to take this quick break, but coming back, there was a situation that happened in Dallas, Texas. Wow. So don't go nowhere. Much more to come.
What's on Edigga's mind?
A and B, I'm going to see my way out of it. Because why? I don't care. I have a message for people who do nothing but complain about black people. We can't change who we are. You call the cops on me. I think that every time you call the cop on someone on a false accusation, your need to be a little bit punished.
BS3 Network proudly presents a man with a lot to say and is unabashed to say it. What's on Edigga's mind? Sundays at 7:30 p.m. Central. Check your local listings for your viewing and listening pleasure.
Steph Curry, Tim Anderson, Jordan Alvarez.
And it's caught! Debo Samuel with the catch. Michael Jordan can sense
the throw, just got the king.
BS3 Network.
The hottest of hot takes, the coldest of cold, hard facts. This is Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. Weekdays at 8 a.m. Eastern. Check your local listings for your viewing and listening pleasure.
And welcome back to the show. What's on the Edigga's mind right here on BS3 TV? A couple ways you can watch the show and listen to the show. If you're on Facebook, you could go to BS3 TV Network. If you're on YouTube, which we are live right now, you could go to BS3 TV Network. And you can listen right now live to this broadcast on WLEO 26.7 online radio by going to either the website, which is www.WLEO267radio.com, or you can download the free Live 365 app and search for WLEO radio. Like I said, good people, with every good thing that happened to me during the weekend, you scroll on your phone and you find some bad. On Saturday, there was a shooting, a mass shooting, another mall shooting in Dallas, Texas, at the Allen, I want to say Allen outlet. And right now they are confirming 8 people died, or 8 people was killed. A lot of people was injured. And tonight I want to bring on a person that lives not too far from the incident. And that is my man, Elliot Jackson. He is the president and CEO of Blast Media LLC, which includes Blast Music 24/7, independent artist platform, Blast Radio 247 or 24/7, independent artist radio station, and producer of multiple podcasts on Blast Media Network. Elliot resides in Dallas, Texas, about 30 minutes from the Allen Mall shooting. So I'm going to bring him in. How you doing, good sir?
Hey, what's going on, E?
Hey, man. First and foremost, welcome to the show. And I want to ask you right now, how are you doing?
Man, whoo, it's another day in Texas.
Right.
I hate to say that, but it's another day in Texas where senseless violence dealing with mass shootings seem to happen here more than in other areas of the country.
Right.
And I'm doing fine. Like you said, I'm about 30 minutes from it.
Right.
But when I heard it, I'm like, damn, that is awfully close to home.
Awfully close.
Yeah.
Awfully close. Because when I asked you to send over the bio and you put 30 minutes, I said, man, that is too close. Now, Elliot, before we get into our conversation about this incident, I want to play something. And this video is courtesy of the local news network in your city.
Mm-hmm.
And this describes of what was going on and what happened leading up to the shooting at the, I want to say Allen
Outlet Mall. Yeah.
Allen Outlet Mall.
Yeah.
So here it is.
Law enforcement rushed to the scene of a shooting at a Texas outlet mall on Saturday.
And all of a sudden we heard pop, 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 and I just grabbed my kids and ran.
Authorities briefed the public on the incident.
When we received the call, we activated our active attack integrated response. Our rescue task force teams found 7 deceased individuals on scene. We transported 9 individuals to the hospital, to area trauma facilities. Of those that we transported, 2 have since died, 3 are in critical surgery, and 4 are stable.
At 3:36, our officer was at Allen Premium Outlets on an unrelated call. He heard gunshots, located the gunshot, located the shooter, neutralized the shooter, neutralized the threat. We believe at this point that the shooter acted alone.
This man says he was shopping for shoes when he heard gunfire.
We ran to the front after we heard like 20 more pops go off, and there's a guy right across nearby like Francesca's, and full outfitted assault rifle, just shooting at people.
At one point, groups of people were led through the mall with hands up as an apparent precaution. A law enforcement source tells CBS News that FBI and ATF agents are on the scene and assisting local authorities. Olivia Leach, CBS News, Allen, Texas.
And that was courtesy. That video was courtesy of Allen, Texas, local news source in Dallas, Texas. And that video pretty much described what was going on in the mall shooting. So I want to say first and foremost, thank you, Elliot, for coming on. And ladies and gentlemen, if you're joining me, if you're listening to this broadcast on WLEO, I am speaking with my special guest, Elliot Jackson, the president CEO of Blast Media LLC. And the reason why I reached out to you, actually, I reached out to you and another person that I know that live in Texas, because I saw the notification. I got the notification on my phone that said you are marked safe, which is a great feature that Facebook provides in these situations. And when I saw that notification, Elliot, I said, okay, so what is going on? Why is they marking themselves safe? And then it came back where it was the mass shooting at this mall outlet. And I was like, man, not again. Secondly, it's awfully close, like 30 miles from where you live. And I can, the only thing I can think of, God forbid, is like if the shooter wouldn't have, because they said he killed himself. If the shooter he didn't kill himself.
No.
He was taken down. He was taken down by one of the cops, one of the police. My mistake. But if he escaped and got into, if I'm saying this correctly, city limits, what will the impact be if that would have happened? Like he just shot some people or just killed some people at this outlet mall. If he would have escaped, if they didn't catch him and he made his way into the city limits, what impact would he have done afterwards?
So what is crazy about that is that if I think it was last week or the week prior, there was a shooting at a residence just because the neighbor asked the guy to stop shooting in his backyard.
Wow.
Because they had kids and everything, and the guy promptly went over and killed about 5-6 members of his family. Right.
Wow.
Law enforcement came out and said basically, oh, he could be anywhere by now.
Right.
The only way he was found was because he happened to be 18 miles away. Wow. and was in someone's closet or whatever. Wow. If no one knew who the shooter was yesterday, and if he went to anywhere within Allen or McKinney or Plano or Frisco or Dallas or any of those cities around there,
wow,
changed his clothes and everything and walked out, no one would have known who he was.
Right.
And nothing actually would have happened. I mean, they would have been as usual, as you've heard our elected officials for this state came out with the thoughts and prayers and the like mental illness speech and like everything else besides, oh, this dude did not need to have a gun, he was on the FBI list, blah blah blah.
Right.
Nothing would have happened. Okay.
Wow.
Nothing. If he would have got out of there and no one knew who he was, it would have been no way to identify him, since he had on body armor and everything else. It would have been no way to identify who this guy was.
Right. Because they said he was dressed in all black.
Yep.
upon entering the mall. And you're absolutely right. Like I said, and I just thought about that. I said, what if they didn't take him down and he would escape and would have escaped into the city to the city limits, like
Mm-hmm.
away from the mall, made his way to, the city part of Dallas. And I never been to Dallas.
Yeah.
I've heard some very good things about Dallas. But this is just awful. And the only thing that I can come to say about all of this, these mass shootings, is the gun control here
Yeah.
in America, here in the US. It is ridiculous, I think. And I often say this on every last incident like this is when is enough is enough? When
Yeah.
are they finally going to sit down and have a meeting? And I know this sounds too easy. I know it sounds too easy to do, because if it was, they would have done it by now.
Mm-hmm.
But we have too many politicians, too many law enforcers, too many uh uh, it's just too much for them to ignore.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to know, in your opinion, Elliot, what will it take? As we have seen, uh, not too long ago, it was another situation. It was at a school.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it was at a mall shooting. I remember a good friend of mine, Vet Green. Shout out to Vet Green, who lives in Buffalo, New York. Uh, they had a mass shooting at a store, which was right across the street from a person that she knew, like directly across the street.
Mm-hmm.
So when is enough is enough? When are they going to put strict gun control on anything here in Baltimore? I mean, not Baltimore, but the US. When will that
Mm-hmm.
happen?
Now, after Uvalde, where all of those elementary
Right,
kids
right,
died here, you would think that, they're going to try to strengthen gun laws.
right.
What did our illustrious governor do? He made it where you don't have to have a license, you don't have to have training,
Mm.
and as of right now, you don't even have to be 21 to own a gun.
Wow,
If you
wow.
want a gun, bro, it is basically easier now to go and get a gun
Mm.
than to try and drive a car. It's easier to go and get a gun than to do any other thing that you have to have a license and everything for. It
Wow.
and the only way it will stop is if the NRA goes away and that money dries up,
Wow.
because all of them are following the money. Our
Wow.
governor is getting paid. Ted Cruz alone has made over $440,000 from
Mm.
the NRA just by saying stuff like, "Oh, guns don't kill people; people
People
kill
kill
people."
people. Wow.
$440,000. There's no way that you can get people that are that corrupt and that are that, I want to say, greedy, to change their mind on something that is not affecting them. Okay, unless that money dries up. We always say follow the money. If that
Right.
money dries up, they will then have to do something.
Right.
Or if something happens to members of their families,
I was
if
about to say that.
if their families caught up in some of this stuff, and like even then, I'm not even sure then, because they're gonna still make the money from the
Right.
NRA.
Right.
Someone dies, someone gets hurt. They're like, oh, well, now if you want me to just continue come out saying, you gotta have to add, $300,000-400,000 more onto what you're actually paying me. And it's
Right.
not just 2 or 3 senators or the governor. It is every single Republican elected official in Texas that is on that payroll.
That's
There
crazy.
is no way possible it is going to happen. When
That's
we
crazy.
say when we say common sense gun laws, we
Mhm.
just mean background checks, making sure that like people are actually capable of having a gun, using a gun, understanding what the gun is for. And by the way, you don't need to have a flipping assault rifle to, I mean, dude, a gun is a gun. It's gonna hurt if like you're using it to just protect yourself.
Right.
A pistol gonna hurt. Pistol gonna stop somebody.
Why do you have to have an Army issued AR-15 or something? Like, I agree. I totally agree.
Yeah. It's almost as if the sales of these guns are somehow tied to these politicians and what they're getting paid, because they are basically out there as salesmen for these guns. Anytime anyone talks about the AR-15 or whatever, they shut it down quickly.
Right.
And do the old edict of thoughts and prayers and blah blah blah. All of this stuff here that hasn't stopped anything from happening, and they don't want to do anything because they're controlled by that green. That's the only thing that they ever care about is the green anyway. It ain't black, it ain't white. It's all about green. Right.
It's all about money. But you're right. And something that you said, and I was thinking the same thing. I said, God forbid, it's going to happen to one of the politicians' relatives that is, and I hate to sound like this, but we all know it takes something to make something happen, and when it happens, it's going to be, breaking news.
Yeah.
But you just saw in this year alone, at least 4 or 5 mass shootings. So is that not enough?
It's never going to be enough.
Right. To make you, and I'm not saying, stop the sale of guns. I'm not saying that. But all I'm saying is make it virtually impossible for somebody to just go in and walk out with a gun.
Yeah.
Especially a person with psychological problems. If you have a person that have mental illness or some type of psychological disorder, mental illness, somebody that been in the Army and came out of the Army with some problems, that person don't need a gun.
Now, we think logically about that, right? But in Texas, they actually slashed $225 million for mental health. Okay. So every time this happens, though, they always say, oh, mental health. But yet they're steady slashing the budgets for mental health. Okay. We don't have mental health facilities that are people can actually go to if they don't have an abundance of money. Okay. Right. There isn't a way to actually detect if you have mental illness problems before you go and purchase a gun, because that's outlawed, because you can't have background checks and see if anyone has PTSD or whatever else, blah blah blah.
And that's crazy.
Crazy.
In a perfect world, I guess I live in a perfect world, but you would think that half of the things that happen, like these mass shootings, the person has some psychological issues.
You would think that, but there was an incident today. Okay, this is still Texas,
right?
Okay, still Texas, where a person at an immigration center, the people were just outside on the curb, drove their Range Rover over 8 immigrants and killed them. Okay. It's not always about them having mental illness.
Okay.
It's about them being angry and radicalized by what is constantly said about people and their beliefs that, everything else is just destroying them, even though, it is legal for places like, Fox News and whatever to say this stuff.
Right.
They're still radicalizing people to do it. So, and then, if I'm not mistaken, the shooter yesterday was a neo-Nazi sympathizer. He had all of this stuff on his Facebook page and social media and everything about neo-Nazism. So he was just out, just to basically kill people.
Right. Right.
And one more crazy thing, just to let you know how crazy the Texas politicians are, right? So there is one lawmaker here that instead of even mentioning gun control or whatever, actually came out and said, and you can look this up, actually came out and said that maybe we should start training third graders how to be trauma medical physicians. Meaning, if someone breaks into their classroom and shoots a third grader, they should be able to treat that third grader. A third grader now should be able to treat this third grader. They should be trained. Now, nothing to do with the guns, scram all over that. But the third grader should be able to actually administer aid to another third grader that was shot by gun.
Wait a minute.
Yes,
Hold
sir.
up.
Yeah.
Okay. Now help me now, because sometimes I, lose my hearing. You did say third grader, right?
Third.
So the age group of a third grader is what?
And they're like 8.
What
Third?
in the blue hell?
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
Wait, on that note, let me go to break. I'm going to go to break, and we're going to get back into it. I cannot.
Yeah.
A third grader to be a what again?
Like, we want him trained to be a trauma, like trauma medic in the field to treat. If a third grader gets shot, he should be able, or they should be able to actually treat this third grader beside them and try to keep them alive.
They're going to be traumatized as well.
Thank you.
With the training, how can you let me go to break.
Yeah.
I feel it coming.
Yeah.
Don't go nowhere, people. If you're listening on WLEO 26.7 online radio, my special guest is Mr. Elliot Jackson. He is the president and CEO of Blast Media LLC. And we are talking about the incident that happened in Dallas, Texas, the mass shooting at the Allen Outlet Mall. Don't go nowhere, because it just got juicy with these third graders being what's the word again?
He wants to train them as trauma medics.
Oh my God. I have heard it all.
Yeah.
We're going to go to break. We're going to come right back. Don't go nowhere.
Alicia.
You can't hold somebody to that standard if you haven't voiced what you want and what you're needing from that.
Mika.
If you're not communicating expectations, you're waiting for your feelings to be hurt.
Nicole.
Yeah. A lot of people don't want to take the time out to be alone and to get themselves together.
Ivan.
You got to be willing to work through stuff. And from the jump street, y'all done had problems. Maybe you don't need to be working through those.
BS3 Network proudly presents Queen 3 and King podcast. Live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central.
And welcome back to the show. If you're just joining in, I am joined by my special guest. He is the president, CEO of Blast Media LLC, Mr. Elliot Jackson. Thank you, sir, for coming on the show.
You're welcome. Thank you, bro.
And before we went to the break, and shout out to the people that's coming in. Shout out to Mr. Ben, how are you today, sir? Mr. Lawrence Stokes, he is here. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in, and shout out to the people that is listening on WLEO radio. We just took a break, but before that, you said something very interesting, which I really think it is very stupid. And this is going on in Dallas, Texas, right?
This is Texas, period. This is Texas lawmaker.
Texas.
It's not going on yet, but he actually
he's trying to make it happen.
And said this after the shooting yesterday.
A third grader. Is it third grade?
Yeah, he says starting in the third.
How is that possible? Whereas there ain't nobody else that can do this. like the child is already going to be traumatized. That's one.
Yeah.
Yet alone to offer. Now, I can understand this because I think this is something that happened in Uvalde. That one little girl kind of sheltered a girl from the bullets. If my recollection recalls, she kind of sheltered or held on to the little girl, to calm her down during that time, during the whole shooting. But to train a third grader to be I can't even begin to think about that.
Yeah.
Because while all of this is going on, the child is going to be traumatized. Yet alone the person that's in train, all that training just going to go out the goddamn window.
Thank you. This is the same as trying to arm teachers. Teachers are there to try and teach kids. They're not walking around with, guns on their hips and everything. And what is also crazy about it, though, people think that it is so easy to kill someone. Okay. You can have all the training in the world. Okay. But if you're face to face with a person, you're going to try to talk to them first.
Right.
Unless you are a psychopath and just ready just to kill whatever, you're going to try to talk to them first and say, hey, do not do this. Don't make me shoot you, blah, 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 because you're going to be traumatized once you kill this person. Right. And because that teacher or whoever else with the gun that is sitting there that's supposed to be trained because they've been shooting on paper dummies and whatever, when they are face to face with an actual person, they're going to freeze. They can shoot, they can hit other kids or whatever, but they are going to freeze first. Right. That's going to still get them and everyone else killed just because they have a gun. Texas and all of the other legislative people who we have voted in the office that are gun fanatics are not gun fanatics. They are money fanatics. They don't care about the gun. If the money dries up from guns, they will change like anything with the quickness. They do not care. Let the money dry up. They do not care. But to try and train kids to be trauma-field medics, I don't care what age they are, but to try to do that instead of talking about gun control, lets you know right there where the politicians in this state have their heads.
Right. So instead of coming up with a solution, instead of coming up with a realistic solution, than to have a child 8 years old, a third grader, that's just lazy.
When I read that today, bro, I literally damn near fell out of my seat.
I'd be damn if my son is 20. But if I had an 8-year-old third grader, oh hell no. Hell no. And I'm almost certain they try to put it in a way where, oh, this is the noble thing to do. No, it is not. Dumb ass. Like, who appointed you for public office, first of all?
Texas is a whole lot of them. You forgot we use the good guy with the gun, good guy with the gun mantra all the time. Oh, good guy with the gun took out the bad guy. After the bad guy has already killed 20 damn people.
Right.
Okay. Someone show up with a gun and they're shaking and everything and they kill him. So that's supposed to be good because now you don't have 20, you have 21 people that are dead. Besides stopping all of this stuff from happening in the first place, you got 21 people that are dead because now the good guy or the whatever with the gun finally shows up and takes out the so-called bad guy with the gun after he has already killed 20 people. We don't care. They don't care. Take away the money, get rid of the NRA, it all dry up. That's the only way. Money. Everything's about money.
Right. You're absolutely right. We got 5 minutes left in the show. And for those who are just joining in, we talking about the mass shooting in Texas at the Allen outlet my special guest, Elliot Jackson. I'm sorry, Elliot Jackson, President CEO of Blast Media LLC. We was just talking about one the situation and what and I hate sounding like this because I almost sound like a broken record when I ask this question because I'm saying it too frequent. I'm saying it too frequent. What needs to be done? And I think you just said it. Dry up the source, which is the money.
That's it.
Get rid of the NRA and dry up the source. What, in your own opinion, Elliot, what needs to happen?
Oh man. The first thing that needs to happen is that we need to get rid of the limits that certain people that are in office are allowed to stay in office.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Get rid of them. Get rid of the lobbyists. Get rid of all of this stuff here that has nothing to do with our democracy. If it's supposed to be for the people, about the people, get back to that. Okay.
Right.
Don't take the Second Amendment to mean that you can carry around a damn bazooka.
No, you good.
If you want to, okay? You could carry around whatever the hell you want to. You are not an armed militia, okay? Which is what it says in the damn Second Amendment. The Second Amendment was written when we were using muskets and damn slingshots, basically. Now you have guns that can fire off 200 rounds in a minute. And you still saying, oh yeah, it's our right to bear arms. Yeah.
Wow.
If it's our right to bear arms, it should be our right then to drive a car with no insurance. It should, for the longest, it was, cigarettes were okay. Cigarettes was fine. Everybody could smoke them. Then, after that right there, sort of like, blew up in their face about 10, 20 years ago. Now they trying to, say, oh no, cigarettes are bad for everybody and you shouldn't use them, blah, blah, blah. But now you got e-cigarettes and everyone like, well, okay, just going to use. They don't care. It's money. They do not care. The only way to get back to anything, whether it's inequality, racial stuff, whatever, is to dry up that source of the green.
There you go.
That's the only thing they care about. They do not care because their families are insulated to the most part. They don't care. They got Secret Service people, everyone following around, everyone in their family. We don't. They don't care.
Wow.
The guns that are out there, if you haven't heard any law enforcement agency come out and say, you know what, all these gun laws that are making it easier, oh no, we don't want that. We don't want that, being that they're always scared that someone got a gun.
Right.
Oh, I thought that black person had a gun. Oh, I thought he had this. They're so damn scared of guns, but now everybody and their mama could have one. Come on, it is a conspiracy. There's something wrong. They all know that once all of these guns and everything that are being sold, they're going to either get pawned or stolen, end up in black, brown communities, and they like, fuck it, let them kill each other. I don't care.
Right.
Because that's what's going to happen, because they don't go, black and brown, we don't go to white neighborhoods to kill. We're going to stay in our neighborhood to do what we have to do. They know all of this.
Right.
They know all of this.
Wow.
It's crazy. Nothing going to change. Drop the money. That's it.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, like I said, I named this for a reason, from good to bad, go from a good weekend to this. And it's sad. It is really sad to go through social media and find out it's another mass shooting. The saddest part about it is nothing is happening to prevent it. And here in Baltimore, I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna let you go. Here in Baltimore, our number one issue right now, believe it or not, is the shootings. The crazy part is they don't know who's doing it. So it's like every weekend, just like tonight, we can look on the evening news, 20 people got shot. And you see the police commissioner and our mayor front and center in front of that camera, frustrated because nobody knows who's doing it. We spend millions to billions of dollars on protection, but is it really protecting us? Here in Baltimore, we have these blue light cameras. Who's watching the footage on the blue light cameras?
Mm-hmm.
You can never, it is never a situation where John Doe was caught because he was found shooting people. Never that. It was 10 people that got shot. Haven't found the person. It's crazy.
It's ridiculous, man.
This is another episode of What's on Edigga's Mind. I want to say first and foremost, shout out to you, sir, for joining me tonight. And before you go, let everybody know just a little bit more about Blast Media LLC.
Hey, so Blast Media LLC is the parent company for Blast. Blast is a music platform where is a platform for independent artists, comedians, content writers, everything. We are essentially for independent artists and we're leveling the playing field. So, we have streaming, paid streaming, just like Spotify, but we also have other things to actually connect artists with the fans. We also have the radio station Blast Radio 247, which you can go out and find the app for that, or you can go to blastradio247.com, or you can find it from our hub, which is our blastmusic247.com. is right there on the homepage. We are trying to change the industry one artist at a time. That's what we do. If y'all know any artists that are trying to make it, got them our way. Blastmusic247.com.
That's what's up. And I do need to add, these guys, man, they work effortlessly and tirelessly to offer those services to independent artists. So once you join, you are definitely, and this is a message to all independent artists. Once you join this network, you're in great hands, because I've worked with these guys on numerous occasions. What can I say? And this is coming from me, Edigga. So trust and believe that if I put my stamp of approval on this, it is damn good. Tonight, like I said, we was talking about the mass shooting in Dallas, Texas. Your thoughts. So if you're watching this on a repeat, please share your comments. If you have anything to add to this, share your comments, your feedback, your opinions. Would love to hear it. And join me next week for another great show here on BS3 TV. A couple ways you can watch the content. Head on over to YouTube at BS3 Network, BS3 TV Network, Facebook, BS3 TV Network. And if you have a Roku device, you can watch this broadcast and all content on BS3 TV in the comforts of your own home by downloading that free app on your Roku device, BS3 TV Network, and watch it in the comforts of your own home. Also, if you're joining in and listening on WLEO 26.7 online radio, I thank you. I sincerely thank you. And a couple of ways you can listen to content on the radio side. You can go to the website, www.WLEO267radio.com, or you can download the free Live 365 app and search for WLEO Radio. I've been your host, the man that you all know and love. From myself and Mr. Jackson, we want to say good night, and make sure you tune in next week for another great episode of What's on Edigga's Mind. Thank you.
Salute, brother.